Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you all how I overcame my eating disorders. This is a follow-up video to a previous video of mine in which I shared my story about my eating disorders and my eating disorder history. If you're interested in watching that video, I will link it up here. But let's get right into it. So the first thing that I did to start my path to recovery was reading the book Brain Over Binge. The premise of her argument is binging is a habit. It is something you develop over time. It is not something that's innate to you. Realizing or reading this perspective, it was a surprise to me. I used to think that I was a complete victim in the situation, that I had no control over when I binged, how much I binged, just the fact that I binged. But understanding that there is this other perspective, that binging is a habit, that you can change this habit, that you can eventually eradicate it from your life, that was mind-blowing to me. And the reason why it was so mind-blowing to me was because I occupied a victim mentality. There was some part of me that enjoyed the wallowing, that enjoyed the self-pity that came along with the binging. It made me realize I can change this, and I have the power to. Cultivating the strength to change those behaviors, cultivating the courage to do it took time, but it's doable, and it happened. So that seed was planted in my head. And I read that book, I think, my first year in college. The summer after my second year in college, I went back to Vancouver. I did not have an internship. I felt kind of crappy about myself due to the fact that I didn't have anything lined up for the summer. But you know what? I think it was a blessing. And this is the reason why. That summer, I decided to make my mental health a priority. My ability to make my mental health a priority was only possible because I realized I have the power to change these behaviors. I am not a victim. I am not helpless. I have a role in shaping my life, including my eating disorders. I decided in order for me to overcome my eating disorder, I had to know who I was. I had to know my values, and I had to replace the emphasis I was putting on my identity as a victim, an eating disorder victim, replace that with other identities that I would soon cultivate. And so the first thing I needed to do was to remove myself from toxic environments that prevented me from exploring these other aspects of my life. Now, as I said before, I had a Tumblr blog, a Fitspo blog, and it's great. I love fitness, but my relationship with fitness was completely unhealthy. It was wacky, right? And I knew that I would return to it someday, but I had to remove myself from those communities, distance myself from those hobbies, and nourish my soul, body, and mind through other means. So I deleted my Tumblr account. I unfollowed all the fitness and model accounts on Instagram, and what I did to replace those communities, to replace those online spaces, was investing my time and energy into the vegan YouTube community. So I went vegan, and that was the best thing that could have happened to me that summer. So for those of you who don't really know much about the vegan community, at least back then, it was focused on abundance. Food is not the enemy. Food is supposed to nourish you. Now, this was a complete shift in perspective for me. But witnessing people who went through the same thing as I did, or similar things, and thriving on this diet with this mindset, that made me curious. It made me want to try it out. And communicating and connecting with people through this community really, it grounded me, and it encouraged me to continue exploring this lifestyle. So that was one of the things that I did. I found a community, and I replaced those toxic communities with this nourishing one. The next thing I did was replace those unhealthy habits and hobbies with nourishing ones. So I used to weightlift a lot, and I killed it. I was strong as hell. But I knew I had to stop doing that if I really wanted to change my perspective on exercise. So I decided, hey, I still need to keep fit just for my general health, and I decided to pick up running. In Vancouver, it is beautiful outdoors. I lived right by the water, right by Stanley Park, if you know where that is in Vancouver, and I went out. I ran, and I didn't run because I wanted to lose weight. I didn't run because I wanted to attain a runner's body. I ran because I loved being out in nature. I loved being free from distractions and just connecting with the world around me. Connecting with Mother Nature, that grounded me, and I needed to be grounded. There is something so innate to our being that we need that connection to plants, to animals, to the waters, to the mountains. I never really appreciated the simple things in life, like sunrises, like greenery. Being able to take the time to do that and reflect on the beauty that the world had to offer, that changed something in me. So apart from running, I also picked up another hobby, which was playing the ukulele. And something about playing music, playing an instrument, is so fulfilling. You know, creating music with your hands, creating these sounds that are so pleasing to the ears, and expressing yourself through music, that also provided me with a sense of comfort. Learning something new teaches you a lot about how you handle problems, how you problem solve. I needed to learn more about myself. I needed to learn about how I act in those situations. So picking up running, exploring nature, picking up the ukulele, those were all habits that nourished me and allowed me to explore a side of myself that I didn't really explore before. I realized that because my binging was a habit, it would take time for me to overcome. And I had to be gentle with myself. Once I started doing all of these things, I started to realize my value as a human being. I removed a lot of the value I was placing on my appearance and started placing that value on other aspects of my being. You know, the fact that I'm a musician, the fact that I help motivate people through my videos. That's the summer when I started creating YouTube videos. I think it's important to realize that your mindset drives a lot of your behaviors and how you handle situations. And once I realized that I was falling into the victim mentality, and that's the mentality that drove me for a lot of my life, I knew that I had to change, and I knew that I could change. At the end of the day, you are more than your eating disorder. You have more to offer to the world than what your eating disorder is telling you. And you are the only one who can change your mindset, right? And can change your behaviors. You're not a victim. You're really not. And you have power. You have power in your situation. It's a matter of harnessing that power and going forth with implementing changes that you want to see in your life. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. So I will see you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.